Hi guys, Will here from WB Trading and welcome back. Now I'm going to dive straight in here today because I'm really excited to share the interview that I have for you all. And what you're about to hear is a conversation I recorded just yesterday afternoon with a client of mine called Tanzin Ahmed, who I've been working with now for roughly 13 or 14 months, I think it's been, so coming up on 2 years. And to say Tanzin's done well is just a monumental understatement. And not only that, he really is one of the most genuine, humble, down-to-earth people I've ever had the pleasure of working with and sharing my strategies with too. When Tanzin joined me, he began trading roughly 2 years former, using his student loan by trying to use the usual, technical analysis methods, the guessing, the predicting, trying to read the market, and he lost every single penny going it that route. Then he stumbled on my content via YouTube. He decided to learn my strategies, and starting out with a pretty modest £500 account, he quickly took that up to £1,425 within month one. He then took his balance right up to £6,225 shortly after, before running the balance right up into the tens of thousands of pounds across the year, as you can see from the stream of messages that he sent to me along the way. And the reason I said that he's one of the most humble and down-to-earth people I've ever worked with is because of what he actually did with that money. He didn't run out and buy a Rolex, he didn't go and finance a Mercedes, he paid off his car loan, he helped his parents with their home renovation, he put down a deposit on his own apartment, and to go even further, he started his own charity called Special Moments, which pays for fun days and special events for terminally ill children in the days before they pass away, along with funding their funerals too. Honestly, Tanzin is just a really brilliant human being, he really is. And to top it all, to bring the story up to its current day, he's just not only passed the FTMO proprietary trading firm test last week, receiving $100,000 in funding, he's also currently just 2.4% away from passing their $300,000 test, as he tells me himself within the interview itself. So he's now not too far from trading the better part of $500,000 in his early 20s, full-time from home after quitting his day job last year, with nothing to worry about but building his trading career. And as he says himself at the end of our conversation, the strategies that I shared with him really have allowed him to completely change his life. So let's get into it. Stay tuned. Here's the conversation recorded just yesterday afternoon, and I'll let you enjoy.
How much I told you before I joined?
Well, yeah, let's start there then. So give me the backstory, and maybe, start at the beginning and tell me a bit about where you were before you found me.
Yeah, so when I first started trading, I was in uni, so I used my student loan, which I probably shouldn't have. And I remember blowing it because I was following signals. Because you've probably seen it, the Instagram providers will say like you don't need any experience, you can just follow their trades, and I was enticed by it. And then I thought it's time to learn by myself. And I think I did what pretty much everyone does, is learn the standard technical trading and understanding how to trade using that. And I did probably a demo for about 5, 6 months, and I was getting quite consistent. Went live, and I was slowly becoming consistent, but then I didn't have the understanding as well as I thought. And the problem with technical trading, I was working full time, so I didn't really have the time to monitor the charts, because I think with technical, you sort of plan your trades out, wait for your entry to come, but most of the time I'm at work to even get to that. So I was consistent to a point. I was sort of plateaued, and then I started losing and gaining, losing, gaining. I wasn't really going anywhere. To be fair. And I think I randomly stumbled across DAX, and what happened was I placed a sell. I remember this moment. I placed a sell, and it was a good profit from it, but I over leveraged back then, and then I made a huge loss on the DAX, and it made me think, if I can just focus on the DAX and learn it, I can just trade the DAX. And you did a lot of YouTube, and then you came up, and that's where I found your videos, and I kept watching, seeing if I could try and work out what you're doing, because you're like, I'm going to place a trade and I'm going to walk away. I have no idea what this guy's doing, and then that's when I bought the DAX strategy first, I think, and the GBP USD, and that worked very well for me. And then I thought, since these two are working, I'm sure the other two would. And it was the bar strategy which changed everything.
Oh yeah, the bias bar strategy.
Like, because I was still working full time, and it was it allowed me to place trades in the evening. I didn't. It was low maintenance. It hits like nicely, and you only need a few of them a week, even just to run it down. Because I was trading it on the 4 hourly as opposed to the daily, and I was getting good results. And then I started looking at how to sort of take your work and see what I can do with it. And yeah, so I've come to a strategy using a few EMAs and using the bias bar method as my entry. And I've used that for since January, and it's probably been my best. On a 2% risk, I'm currently on a 87% return for the year so far. So that's all I've been focusing on at the minute, and yeah, it was just a game changer, really. That.
That's brilliant. Yeah, really good to hear. I think it makes a massive difference when you find what works for you, and it sounds like the bias bar strategy has just clicked with you. I mean, you've smashed it for the year so far. I've put almost 90% on the year in 5 months,
Yeah,
and that's the strategy that you actually used to pass the FTMO test, wasn't it?
it is. Yeah, it is.
Brilliant. Okay, so let me ask you another question. You tried trading using technical analysis, and you found that it kind of worked, it kind of didn't. You were lacking consistency. What made you, when you'd found me via YouTube, watch my videos, what made you actually take action and come on board and learn the strategies?
Um, what made it was just purely by accident when I found the DAX video of yours. But it's the fact that when I watched a few of your videos, it's the fact that you kept saying, "I want to place and walk away," and I didn't understand how you can be so relaxed and confident in yourself. Like, it didn't make any sense of the fact that you weren't even having to really monitor what you're doing. So I was like, no, this has to be. To be honest, I thought it was fake. Like, it can't be true. Um, even when I read, um, Even when I read the strategy, when I first read the DAX one, I was like, no, it can't be. It can't be. Then I tried. I was like, oh no, this is what trading should be. Like, I don't know why everyone's even bothering with technical when you can have such a simple method like mechanical trading. It was literally you saying I'm walking away. That's what got me. So
Yeah, so I mean, for anybody that's watching this and actually thinking, even after you've just said that, I'm sure someone's going to be watching this and they're going to be saying, that can't be true. You can't just take a trade and walk away. What would you maybe say to those people that are still skeptical?
you literally can. I mean, I did it for the FTMO, and as I said, I passed on that verification on one trade, and I literally placed it, walked away. That was literally all I did. Because the problem I had was I was closing trades really early, and I didn't realize that until I started hitting a few losses where my losses would take over. Whereas the trade has so much more potential that you're not allowing it to show. So walking away gives you that.
Yeah, so really that is the advantage that you found, that whole just removing emotion, right?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I had that emotional attachment just before I joined you, because I used my student loan and I blew it. I had quite a lot of attachment to the money I invested in. Um, Once I sort of sorted that side out, I've noticed a big change. But yeah, sitting on my hands, sitting on your hands is not easy when it comes to trading, and I think I just had to trust what you were saying. If you trust in the strategy and trust in yourself, you can. That's the main thing. Is just have building that trust and confidence, really.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Even with rules in place, it is still hard to execute, walk away, let things play out. That's for sure. But how would you say things have changed since joining me? You know, you joined me about a year ago now. What have been maybe the real differences, and obviously how's progress been overall?
I think the biggest difference was consistency, and the consistency with mainly consistency with my losses. To be fair, because what I mean by that is I didn't really have a plan as to how to manage my trades, and as I said, the fact that I was actually holding trades for full potential changed a lot and made my losses sort of die down a little bit. It was more that my wins were taken over consistently. Even if I would have a losing run, my wins would always seem to. That's the thing. You always say it. I always felt like I had an edge over the market for over the last year, over a year now. Was it? Yeah, over a year now. Yeah. That's the main thing. It's the fact that I felt like I don't care if I've had a losing run because I know this strategy does have an edge over the market, and I know you sent your spreadsheets and you're back testing for it, but I did it on my own to see for myself, and yeah, it's just knowing that your strategy will always come out on top. That's the main thing that changed for me. And obviously, my count has grown massively since, um, and I've managed to do a lot with the opportunities that Forex entails, really. And now, obviously, being funded has just changed the game. Well, it changed my life, really. Yeah, it's life changing.
Mate, that's so good to hear, especially in regards to the funding, the progress, knowing that you're trading with edge. I think seeing the data really gives you a massive amount of confidence to execute well long term, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because as I said, even after I bought your strategies, I was still skeptical because I was scammed before I met you as well. I did buy a few courses which were pretty much copy paste off baby pips, but yeah, so I was still very skeptical about the results that you were showing. But it really is like it. Your results are as accurate as even if I dated it back to what you did. It's exactly the same. So, and I've sort of proved that your strategies do work in that sense. Um, if for anyone who is skeptical, but it's yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I think I owe whatever how far I've come to you, if I'm honest.
See, the thing is, it's all well and good me giving you the tools. You know, I've given the tools to people who've taken them and just thought this can't work and they've given up. I've given the tools to people who've used them for a month and then thrown in the towel. And you know, you've really done the hard work required, and that's why you're where you are now. But let me ask, what do you think's really made the difference? So has it been consistency? Has it been the back testing? You know, what's really brought everything together for you?
Um, I'll actually, I'll actually agree with those people because I didn't see results straight away either, and I don't think you will unless you actually put the time into to backtest it yourself. Because apart from the DAX, to be honest, the other strategies it took me a while to understand, and I remember messaging you all the time about if you have to doubt yourself, then you're wrong. Like when you said that, it changed everything. But it was the fact that I didn't put the effort in starting off. I just wanted a quick return. I just wanted to make the money I lost back, and that was the hardest thing. And I think people who are looking to join you are probably in the same position as me. And I think if you are thinking about joining, Will, come in with a fresh mind, um, and don't chase the losses. That was my main downfall at the start. I probably could have picked it up quicker, but because I took a few losses on the first few trades that I took using the strategies, I sort of tossed it to the side a little bit because it wasn't working. But then kept watching your YouTube videos, and I was like, "How's this guy doing it, but not me?" So I went back to it, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. I assume people watching your videos are probably strategy hopping like I was. I think that's the main issue, really.
Yeah, so what you would say really is it's all about that long term consistency.
Yeah, I didn't see it for a long term when I was trading because because I wasn't really seeing the results that I sort of expected, especially because I was doing it for a while now, and it was getting a bit frustrating, and I almost gave up at one point. But yeah, there is longevity in forex, which everyone needs to realise.
Yeah. I think that's going to make a lot of sense for people who watch this from the outside in, that are still not consistent, still strategy jumping, so on and so forth. But in terms of what is actually achievable when you get around those stumbling blocks, how much money have you made, if I can ask, over the last, 12, 13 months now?
When was the last update again? Because I remember I started with you, and I remember it clearly. I think I started with about £500. Near December, I was hitting. My account was just over 20,000. This is purely. I did withdraw as well, actually. To be fair, yeah, coming into January, my account was at 23,000. So that's from 500 to 20, just over 20k, and most of the withdrawals were also going to my charity as well. To be honest, I don't know how much I've made, but I've left my job. That's the main thing. I've left my job. I've been making consistent enough to pay myself a wage. Um, and I know people who are listening are probably going to think this is all set up and fake. It's really not. And I think if you go to your Twitter, you can see the updates from months ago when I last messaged you and you posted it. Yeah, you can see really a timeline on your Twitter with my screenshots on there. Yeah, I don't know a round figure of how much I made, but yeah, it's enough to live off and pay myself a wage and leave my work.
Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, that's the dream for most traders, isn't it? In terms of leaving the day job behind entirely, trading full time from home, taking £500 and turning it into tens of thousands of pounds. So, uh, here's a question for you. So, how does it feel to have achieved what the vast majority of traders out there haven't, and what would you say has made the difference?
Um, the biggest thing is emotion and psychology. I think following your strategies and following any strategy that you use is fine, but if you don't have the psychology to back it, then you won't really get anywhere. That's my personal opinion because my main barrier was my psychological um, issues because I kept closing trades, well, even though I knew they had potential, and then every time I look back, I was kicking myself because I know I should have held it, but I just didn't want to make another loss. Or it's a tricky one, but I definitely think that psychology is the biggest factor for people,
Yeah,
um, in my opinion.
yeah, definitely agree with you on that. So, let's talk about the FTMO test because it's something that I keep getting asked about more and more as the firm continue to grow and more of the traders using my strategies keep passing the test and joining the firm. So, when it came to the test, maybe let me ask you, how did you prepare, and what made the difference, if anything?
The difference, the biggest difference last time was I was trading with ego, because I was making like 100, £200 a week at that time, and I thought I was the man. I thought I was actually doing really well, but FTMO just showed because I failed in 31 hours. I don't know if anyone's beat that record, but it really took me down a step. It showed me that I'm not as good as I thought. And now I've matured a lot. And I think the biggest thing was I was over trading before, and now because of strategies that I'm using and that we use really, um, it does give you entries, but not as much, and you sort of have to be picky about your trades. But the ones you do take are enough, and I didn't realize that you don't need to trade too much to make a good return. You could do it on a couple of trades a week even. You don't need to trade that much, and I think I had a lot more of a mature mindset coming into FTMO this time, and I actually have a trading plan which I didn't have, and patience. Patience was a big thing, which I didn't have either. So yeah, coming into it, I was a complete different person than I was 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago, over a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, got it. And well, you've kind of just answered my question there, haven't you, in terms of how you prepared? So trading plan, not trading with ego, just generally being prepared, right?
Yeah, and I think I didn't want to see it as a test, because if I put pressure on myself, I know I will fail it. So I sort of traded as I would on my normal account. I didn't think anything different of it, and that seemed to work with me because in the grand scheme of it, it's not any different to normal trading. Yes, there's a slight adjustments that you need to make with what percentage you use and how many entries you take and when you enter a new trade. But other than that, it's not a huge difference really. I did do 2 trials before I did the real thing.
Ah, nice. Okay. What were they just kind of on sim at home, or were they actually paid trials?
No, the trials, they're the free trials that you get on the FTMO website. Um, yeah, you get like a 14-day trial. Um, yeah, exactly. It's just getting used to the conditions that you have to meet. I was quite consistent on both of them, so I thought, okay, I'm ready to. I probably could have done it a few more times just to make sure, but I think I timed it right for myself.
Nice, nice. Okay. So, can I just ask really quickly about your charity? Because I think it's really important to mention how generous you've been with the money you've made as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. So charity is called Special Moments. Being a physio, working with terminal children, it brought to light the fact that these children weren't getting. Some of them weren't able to do, how can I say, special things with their family and their loved ones during their last stages of their life. And what the charity does, it actually funds days out for them with their family. Or we've actually funded a few funerals, because funeral costs, I didn't realize how bad they are until I funded the first one, where parents were taking out loans just to pay for their child's funeral. And I think hearing these stories is being in the position I'm in now. I can definitely do. I feel like I should give back. Like forex is nice earning for yourself, but essentially I'm earning money from sitting at home, and I feel like, and I sort of miss that rewarding feeling that I get from physio. Um, and it's just a great feeling, to be honest, to be able to do that. We've got bigger projects at the minute. We've opened a free clinic, a medical clinic in Bangladesh, which supports my mother's village. Um, because it's quite a poor village back there. So it offers just free treatment and free minor operations at the minute. But yeah, there's bigger plans. I hope once the FTMO, if it pulls off, then I could do a lot more with it. But yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, that is such a heartwarming story. It's so good to hear that, the money's not just being put to good use, but to actually life-changing use too. And it definitely says a lot about you as a person as well. So yeah, congratulations on all of the success so far. And off the back of that, what would you say your goals are going forward? What are the goals for the future?
The goals are, so trading wise or just general.
I'd say both really. So trading, charity, life.
Yeah, so trading wise, I've actually started another FTMO challenge, uh, which I've almost passed actually. I'm 2.5% away. I'm going for the max at the minute, because it's like 300k, which is the maximum that you can get. So I'm hoping to pass 3 times to sort of manage a fund there and compound that. So trading wise, that's my long term goal. Uh, charity goals at the moment is trying to offer more medical treatment back in Bangladesh, especially during what's happening at the minute. There isn't any. The healthcare over there is terrible, and my plan is to help a lot more people there, because I'm only able to fund a select few people. I wish I could do more, but I physically can't. And yeah, charity wise, we've also starting. I'm just waiting for the charity pot to build up, but we're also starting to support for an orphanage scheme where children who've lost their parents from a young age, it offers them therapy going on, because I lost my parents and I didn't have that support. And yeah, it's just supporting the people that I feel need it, and from my life experience, what I didn't get, really. But yeah, that's my goals for trading and charity wise.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I think you've got a really great attitude, and I've got no doubt that you're going to carry on growing, carry on succeeding, and yeah, I've no doubt that you're going to pass the $300,000 FTMO test too. And I reckon next time we'll be speaking is when you message me saying, "Hi, Will, I've just rolled over 1 million."
Well, you said this. You said this last year. You said it'd be good to see where I've come in a year, and I'll be honest. When you said that, I didn't really take much notice of it because I didn't think that I would get anywhere. My confidence was really low anyway when I joined you. So yeah, I'm a completely different person.
Brilliant. I mean, it's so good to hear of the progress, so good to hear of the growth, and I mean, I was about to ask you, what would you say to other people who are actually listening to this right now? They're struggling within their trading, they're on the fence, they're thinking about heading over to my website and joining us in trading the strategies. But with that question, I guess trading's changed your life, really, hasn't it? So I'm guessing that'd be the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably well, I am the example in that case. I mean, it's changed everything for me. Like the fact that I've been, because before meeting you, I was trading what two years or something, and I've done a lot more in a year than I have in 2 years, if we put it that way. So you could see where the difference was. And after I joined you, I didn't join anyone else, or I didn't learn from anyone else, because I didn't need to. I had what I found was a winning strategy, and it's made me change the way that I see the markets. And now I've developed my own work, and based off what you've taught, it's just changed everything for me. Like, and it's so simple. That's the crazy thing. It's how simple it is. Like, it shouldn't be this easy, but it is.
Brilliant, brilliant, great feedback as well. Okay, so let me end the conversation on this note. So let me ask you one more question. What would you say to people who are, again, they're listening to this, they're struggling, they're on the fence, they're wondering whether to join us in trading the strategies? What would your advice be to them?
Um, because I think, as far as I'm aware, you still offer the packages of just a few strategies, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're worried or skeptical about it, just try one of them, because one of them is what drew me into getting them all, because having the selection of them in your toolbox will change a lot. But if you are skeptical, just try one. I recommend you call it the high time frame bias bar, don't you?
Yeah, the bias bar strategy.
Yeah, that's the one. I recommend that one. But also, if once you do buy the strategies, Will is always there to reply to your emails. I know I've asked you so many questions starting off, and I think once you answered all of them, you sort of left. Well, I sort of got on with it really, and but I know that you're always there, and you get the regular emails, which is quite nice to see from you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're on the fence, I recommend just trying one. You can't really go wrong, to be honest. And yeah, I don't really know what to say. I mean, I've come far with it, and I'm sure other people can.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, Tanzin, it's been really, really great to be able to chat to you today. Well done on all the progress, and yeah, here's to the next 10 years.
Yeah, no, thank you for everything that you taught me. To be fair, otherwise I wouldn't be where I am. It's I'm not even joking, and I know this isn't a part of the interview, but you've changed my life. It's bizarre, like how much everything's changed in a year. But I didn't expect to be working from home, pretty much doing what I want to do, and now managing 100,000. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. Yeah, it's all down to you.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and hopefully it's triggered some inspiration and got across what's actually possible when you have strategies that work. And if you would like to learn the strategies that myself and Tanzin both trade, you can do so over at the Join My Community page of my website via the link that's on screen right now. Head over there, have a read through the page, and you'll find the strategies available via the packages that I offer towards the bottom. And hopefully one or two of you watching here today will be one of the next handful of clients that I'll be interviewing for the channel in the future, which will be amazing. And if you do need me for anything in the meantime, as always, I'm only an email away. You can reach me at william@wbtrading.co.uk. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And with that, trade with edge, with consistency, and I look forward to having you back here on the channel soon. Thanks, everyone.